Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today. We have some Bitcoin news today. We have Solana news, and we have a famed economist, one of the best, is issuing a warning. Yeah, I know another warning, but listen, they're trying to let the people know something is coming so they can prepare. I wonder if people are listening. We got a lot and we have some bank news also towards the end of the video, later chapters. So let's begin here because apparently I was not aware of this. You guys didn't let me know. Apparently, the XRP Ledger is gearing up for some upgrades. I'm all for it. Let's become bigger, better, stronger, faster. We're in the driver's seat. I'm going to tell you what. I think I have a JP Morgan article that, in my humble opinion, and that article is going to come later, in my humble opinion, shows we're still in the driver's seat. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So this article begins. XRP Ledger might soon level up with new upgrades. Here's the details. It says here, new proposals, discussions are now taking place involving compliance, smart contracts, automation, TradFi and DeFi, expanding features, side chains, and better user experience. Wow, where's this coming from? It says, with all the proposals, discussions, and developments on the horizon, XRP Ledger is set to level up and reinforce its position as a leading player in the digital asset space. Krippenreiter, an XRP Ledger and DLT researcher, shares an exhaustive list of what is in the pipeline for XRP. Yes, but how was this confirmed? Does this person work for this? Does this person build on the XRPL? Like, I'm not understanding the connection here. Then they crop the tweet. It says a few of these include DID, which allows for sharing and controlling individual digital identities on the XRPL, while the personal data that links ID is held off-chain. Its use cases include reusable KYC and a permission-regulated and compliant DEX. This amendment is currently being voted on, with a new bug fix set to be released in v2.2.0. The X-Chain Bridge amendment allows for cross-chain asset transfers across distinct independent ledgers, such as a main chain, for example, XRPL and a side chain, such as an EVM side chain. Use cases include adding wrapped XRP as a native asset on a side chain and EVM interoperability. This amendment is currently being voted on with a new bug fix set to be released in v2.2.0. They reiterate that again. It says here, price oracles implement a native mechanism that retrieves off-chain data from an oracle provider for use on the XRPL for dApps, DEX, and other XRPL-based protocols. It serves as an AMM version number 2. It says this amendment, why do they keep saying that? This amendment is currently being voted on. Literally after everything that they say, they continue to write, this amendment is currently being voted on. That is just strange to me. I don't know. Maybe the writer was a little bit tired. Several amendments are also up for discussion, such as the managed single asset tokenized pool, sponsored fees and reserves, NFT token escrows, proposed lending protocol, and atomic/batch transactions. XRPL plugins and hooks are presently in the draft stage. Wow. So if this is all true, there's a lot coming to the XRPL. Hopefully people will be happy with that. So now let's move on here to another article. Now this one here is titled Ripple versus SEC. Crypto lawyer pinpoints pivotal decision in remedies phase. It says legal analysts are closely watching the SEC's approach as it prepares its reply brief. The SEC's response will most likely focus on strengthening its claims for the remedies it seeks, which is supposed to be happening today, right? Did it already happen? I'm not sure. It says, according to Bill Morgan, a lawyer and XRP enthusiast, while the amount Ripple is ordered to pay is important, the decision on the SEC's request for an injunction appears to be more important. Let's scroll down here. Scroll past the tweet here because they're going to reiterate that anyway. Quote, I am really looking forward to seeing what the SEC says in its reply brief about Ripple's argument that the permanent injunction should not be granted, or if granted, should be restricted. Is the SEC really trying to permanently stop Ripple sales to ODL customers, unquote, Morgan wrote, quote, "The decision on the injunction is more important in my view than how much Ripple is ordered to pay," unquote, Morgan added. Okay, so then they say the crypto community is watching. You know, we all are waiting on that decision to see how this all shakes out. So now let's move on to this article here. So this next article is titled "Whales Move 28 Million XRP Before Ripple versus SEC May 6th, the deadline." Yeah, but once again, like I said, there's a lot of volatility. So while there's buying, there's selling at the same time, a whole lot of it. See the price going up and down, up and down. It went up a little bit, but nothing major because it gets offset majorly by the selling, right? It says here, a mysterious XRP whale known by the wallet address, they give out the address, has sent shockwaves through the market by moving a large amount of XRP. I like that. How's that a shockwave? Like, I mean, I suppose technically. The whale transferred 28 million XRP tokens valued at around $14 million to Bitstamp Exchange. This move comes after several significant XRP transfers to central exchanges by the same whale in recent weeks, sparking intense speculations about the reasons behind these transactions. Well, what's the speculations? Tell us. Some analysts believe it could indicate a strategic sell-off. So be it. There's been a lot of selling going on. Anything that happens before the court case is over, to me, I'm not too worried about that, to be quite honest. It says suggesting uncertainty about XRP's future due to ongoing legal issues. In what way? Listen, most of Ripple's business is outside the U.S. They're battling to stay in the U.S. So far, everything's been going very, very good. I don't understand what the problem is here. So others speculate, other than a lot of, individuals who choose to be overly pessimistic. That's their choice. Let them be. Listen, I'm around some people. This has nothing to do with crypto. It's in a person. I've been around a lot of people where everything is doom and gloom. Everything is filled with fear, and the sky is dark and the clouds are coming overhead and the world is ending. That's just them. That's just in their personality. And then you got people that are tweener. They're in between. Sometimes they're like that. Sometimes they're not. And there's a lot of reasons that could be, some people, they just enjoy the thrill of everything collapsing all the time or everything being doom and gloom all the time. They just enjoy that. Then there's the possibility of hormonal imbalances and things like that. Then there's also the possibility of traumas, but then also sometimes traumas can cause hormonal imbalances or the brain to operate differently than it did before. It sort of rewires itself and is in survival mode because of traumas. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for these things. I'm just saying, but yeah, I other than that, I don't see a whole lot of negativity going on right now. You have the typical market volatility happening. They're fighting in court. They've been winning the entire time, so yeah, that's how I look at that. So it says this. Oh, and let me not forget to throw out there seasonal affective disorder which a lot of people, it's not advice, by the way. It's not medical advice. I'm not a medical professional, although I'm very close with a lot of medical professionals. And I often discuss a lot of things with them. Like if you're close to me, we're going to have a lot of deep discussions. I don't waste my words and my time, but I'm not a medical professional. Right. But anyway, a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder or SADS. Right. Now, what happens is you have a hormonal imbalance. You have a lack of vitamin D3 in your body. You're not getting enough sunlight. A lot of people live in regions where they don't get a lot of sunlight. That's number one. Number two, you're inside of buildings all the time. So you're inside your office space. You're inside your workspace. Then you're at home. You're inside. Then you're at a store. You're inside. So your body doesn't naturally absorb the sunlight. The body does undergo a process that is very similar to photosynthesis in plants, where the body takes in sunlight through your skin and it processes that into vitamin D3, which is also called the happy hormone that keeps you happy, keeps you balanced, right? So a lot of people suffer from this. They don't even know to get tested. They suffer from this, and it causes you to fall into like a depression-like state. It can range from being light to severe. Now, a lot of doctors, once again, talk to a medical professional about this if you feel like you might be going through this. A lot of doctors will recommend vitamin D3 supplements. That's on them to do. And they'll tell you how much to take, stuff like that. And then, that could bring a balance back and put you and take you out of that dark cloud, that funk that you've been in. But most people don't even know about that. And see, and this is the problem why it's important to share information, not just, and I'm going to juxtapose here, as much as people talk about things like Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, right? Like the people were going crazy with that the last few days. So be it. But as much as people talk about that, they need to talk about things like this as well that could be beneficial. Like, hey, you okay? You good? You taking your vitamins? Are you going to your doctor? How you been feeling? You been feeling okay? Sometimes it just takes something like that. Have you been feeling okay? And then somebody might say, no, I've been down, man. I haven't been feeling good. If they're comfortable with you, then you might say, hey, have you ever been, have you had your D3 levels tested? They might say, no, what the heck? What is that? D3? What are you talking about? Because a lot of people don't even know about vitamin D3. They don't know what it does. And a lot of people don't take multivitamins. They don't. It's just not something that they do. They weren't raised doing that. And so the person may say, hey, no, what's that? And then now you're putting this person up on some information. I was going to say putting them up on some game. I'm showing how old school I am. But you're giving them some good information that now they can go to their doctor and check on that. And they might say, hey, you might have changed their life. You might have saved their life, because let me tell you something. Depression can do something terrible to a person, So I think I'm not going to say I think a lot of people are going through that, even though I do. But what I really want to say is I've known a lot of people that, vitamin D3 changed their lives. Just saying, just putting it out there. So you get a lot of information from me. And I get a lot of information from you as well. So let's just make that clear. So we have good conversations here, in my humble opinion. So there you have it. There you have it. We're going to wait and we're going to see how all this shakes out. I don't think that this person moving that amount is anything to write home about, is anything too dramatic. They might be moving that. Let's say they liquidate this amount. All right, then maybe they're moving it just into a protective asset. Maybe they're moving it into gold. Maybe they're moving it into a money market fund. Who knows, to protect that value for a little bit. Say it's no different than what people do with Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, a lot of times when Bitcoin goes down, you'll see gold go up just a little bit. When you have a mass sell-off in Bitcoin, you'll typically see gold go up a little bit. Silver might go up a little bit. I mean, it might be harder to view now because gold is at such a high price. But let's say when gold was at like $2,000, you definitely could see that movement. I used to watch that all the time. I don't look at a lot of charts all the time, but I love looking at gold, and I used to look at the dollar a lot. Gold, platinum, palladium, and silver I used to watch all the time. I just found it dramatically interesting. So anyway, so maybe it's that. Could be that as well. Who knows? So now let's move on here to a little bit of Bitcoin news. I think I forgot to cover the Bitcoin news in yesterday's video. These days have been so busy, everyone. My apologies. They've been so busy. I've been doing my best to get the videos out, and I'm just barely getting them out at 8 o'clock. Barely. I'm in a rush. I'm trying, the recording of the videos is the easiest part. The research is not easy. The processing takes a long time, especially now with the auto captions. I have to do double the processing. So I may forget things from time to time. My apologies. All right. I'm saying that I may forget things from time to time. And I think I might have forgotten the Bitcoin news yesterday, but I'm not today. This article here is titled Bitcoin Flashing Chad Setup. What does that mean? Chad setup? I hear this word being used a lot. I haven't looked up the exact verbiage and origin of this Chad word that everybody's using. But anyway, it's a Chad setup en route to witnessing best case scenario. All right, so it must be a positive thing. Let's scroll down here. This is coming from pseudonymous analyst Don Alt. All right, let's scroll down here. Why is it not scrolling? It says, according to the analyst, the false downside move is a catalyst that could trigger a burst to the upside for Bitcoin. Quote, that's just a Chad setup. I love those. Almost all the time when I get them, where the daily time frame is bearish, but the weekly and the monthly are bullish. When that flips, you usually make quite a bit of money, unquote. Now, that's what I like to hear. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. That's what I like to hear. While Don Alt is bullish on Bitcoin, he doesn't expect the crypto king to print new all-time highs just yet. I agree with that. The top trader highlights that Bitcoin rallied by over 170% from October to March and he believes Bitcoin needs more time to, quote, digest, unquote, the move before exploding to greater heights. Yeah, everything's taking a breather. Went up a little bit. Things went up a little bit, but they're taking a breather, you know. Let it coil up, let it build up, don't worry. I believe, not financial advice, you're going to like what happens in the end. It says, quote, "This is something I said a couple of weeks ago. The longer this goes sideways, the better for bulls, because we're basically digesting the move that we had. That was really, really aggressive move. Usually you have to digest those by just nuking the entire market, but you can also digest it by just going sideways for long enough." I agree with that. Yeah. You know, interesting way to put it, but I agree with that. So now let's move on here. A little bit more Bitcoin news. All right. So this article is titled "Bitcoin Mining Revenue Hits Post-Halving Yearly Low." That's good. Daily revenue from Bitcoin mining dropped to under 3 million. Revenue. My apologies. I'm thinking they're talking about fees. Somebody out there was like, "What do you mean that's good?" Because the revenue dropped, and they're a miner. My apologies. I thought they were. I don't know why I interpreted that as fees. My apologies. It says daily revenue from Bitcoin mining dropped to under 3 million from the previous daily average of roughly $6 million in the first 4 months of 2024. Earnings from Bitcoin mining dropped significantly in May as the effects of the fourth Bitcoin halving event have set in. Bitcoin halving mechanism. Then they go into that. It says while initial hype around the halving and the launch of Bitcoin runes temporarily sustained the miners' daily earnings, a strong revenue drop was recorded in May. On May the 1st, the total revenue earned from block rewards and transaction fees fell to a new low of $26.3 million. In contrast, Bitcoin miners earned roughly $6 million per day on average before the halving, according to data from blockchain.com. All right, so now let's move on here. Getting through this pretty fast today. Very quickly. Little bit of show news. Now, I don't watch a lot of shows, a lot of movies anymore. When I do, it's usually old school stuff. I just love stuff from when I was younger. They made the best stuff, in my opinion, in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, and early 2000s. They made the best stuff. But anyway, there is one new show that I came across. Well, I didn't come across him. Yeah, my brother recommended it. Yeah, my brother recommends a lot of stuff because he's a part of pop. He's not a part of, but he takes part in popular culture a lot, and I don't. I'm the opposite. I don't care what popular culture does. So he comes to me, says, "Mick, I found this. He finds a lot of stuff, and he brings it to me, and he only brings me the best stuff." So anyway, he brought me this show, and he says, "Bro, you got to watch this show." All right, I watched the show. It's called The Boys. The Boys, and it's coming out with season 4 soon. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on it because I saw the trailer. And I'm not often enthused by shows. This is one of the best shows in a long time. It's about superheroes, if you don't know. But let me first preface by saying there's some sick stuff in this show. This is not for the faint of heart. Don't go watch The Boys if you're easily offended by things, if you're grossed out by things. I'm telling you right now, this is a sick show. But here's the thing. It's so crazy because this often happens where you have something that's very extreme as far as art, but the writing, the content of it is so good. It's deep. So The Boys are about these corrupt superheroes, and then there's a group of humans that are sort of going against them. The corrupt superheroes and the regular humans are not a group of regular humans have all of the motive in the world to try to put a stop to the abuse that these superheroes are placing upon people around the world. So this little tidbit here, this is from gizmodo.com. The Boys season 4 trailer, Prime Video, says here, "Summer's almost here, and that means it's time for the return of everyone's favorite superhero show, The Boys. With season 4 set to kick off in a little over a month, Prime Video released a new trailer that's got everything you expect from the show. Superheroes, being chaotic freaks, pointed political imagery, and a lot of blood. Like I said, it's pretty extreme, but the story, it's take away the superpowers. It's a very human story. I give you an example. You look at the main villain, Homelander. There's Homelanders everywhere. They're just people who are bullies. That's it. There are bullies and everybody's afraid of them and they take advantage of the people because they get to bully. I hate bullies. I hate bullies with a passion. But there's a homelander everywhere. So take away his powers. So you have that. Then you have that one person that stands up to the bully. That's like the other character, Billy Butcher. Very human story. Then you have all the people that the bully makes his or her cronies. And of course, all of them have their various traumas and, they're very eccentric as well. It's like a lot of people, sometimes being an outcast can go one of two ways. Sometimes being an outcast can be a good thing because it separates you from the ills of society, which the bulk of society usually grabs onto and tries to justify through extreme means and make normal, right? That's one. But sometimes being an outcast, they lack love. They lack love. They lack a social environment, acceptance. Obviously, outcast, being an outcast. And then you have to have these people like Homelander, they bring you in, or the company Vault brings you in. And you're just happy to be a part of something, It can be a slippery slope there. It's dangerous. But anyway, the writing in this show is very, very good. And then the dynamic between it's not simple. Some of these so-called heroes, they're doing some villainous things, yes. But then you see their past traumas and what they've been through. You're like, oh. But then they show remorse. They want to change. So then they try to change. Like, let's say, like Soldier Boy in this video. There's a hero named Soldier Boy played by Jensen Ackles, who was amazing in, Supernatural? I like Jensen Ackles. But anyway. You see at different points where Soldier Boy, he wants to change. He wants to be better. He's trying to, there's different times where he's trying to reach out to people and he wants them to treat him like a regular person, but they don't. Everybody wants to use him. And it makes him cold. How many times did he get betrayed in this show? So, I mean, man. I know a lot of people watch this just for the CGI and the graphics, and some people watch it maybe for the gore. I don't watch any of that. I'm looking at a human story being told. And on that level, the writing is very good. So I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping that good writing continues. The good story continues. Because that's all I care about when it comes to this. So anyway, let me know what you think about The Boys in the comment section. Have you watched The Boys? What do you think about it? You think the season's going to be good? Will they finally defeat Homelander? Let's see. Will Soldier Boy come back? I don't know. So now let's move on here. Let's finish this off. A little bit of Solana news, and then let's see. Let's do Solana news and one more article. Keep this video maybe around 30 minutes today. We'll see. Famed Economist. Oh, this might work out good. The Famed Economist article is next. And then we'll leave it there, and I'll post the rest of the articles in the members only section. So now, this article is titled Solana Skyrockets. Does it say 37%? It does, 37% in trading volume. It says, in the ever volatile world of the crypto market, one coin has been making headlines recently with its remarkable surge in trading volume. Solana, often hailed for its innovative blockchain technology and ecosystem, has seen a staggering 37% increase in trading volume over the past 24 hours. Really? Like I said, I haven't checked the charts today, folks. I did see, I think the other day, that Solana was up a little bit. But that doesn't surprise me. It's super bullish. We just did. Who came out recently and was Oh, it was Franklin Templeton. So Franklin Templeton came out a day or two ago. We covered that article, by the way, and said they're super bullish. I'm paraphrasing. They're super bullish on Solana. So, I mean, it has all the big support. It has a lot of respect and love from the regular people. I'm super bullish on Solana far into the future. Oh, it's a moneymaker, especially when more people start staking Solana. Then on top of that, when the big companies, apparently they have love for Solana, why wouldn't they stake Solana as well? So then there's that. So I don't, anytime it goes up, it surges. Doesn't surprise me, not one bit. At the time of writing, Solana is trading at $154, marking a significant 5.34% increase in the last 24 hours alone. However, the real story lies in the performance over the past week, where Sol has surged by an impressive 14%. This remarkable uptrend has caught the attention of both seasoned traders and crypto enthusiasts alike, sparking discussions on what might be driving this surge. I just told you. All the big companies for the last 5 months, not all the big companies. When I say all, I mean many. I speak in a very peculiar way. But a lot of big companies have spoken about how they're bullish about Solana. Some of these millionaires and billionaires, multimillionaires, have been talking about how they're bullish on Solana. It has all the support in the world. And then to add, apparently a lot of people like building on Solana and using it. They like it. This is what I'm reading in articles. So there you have it. All right, so let's end off the video today here. I think we did a good amount today. I feel good about this. It says here, this is from a famed economist. We just had another economist a few days back. I can't remember that individual's name, but they were saying something very similar to this. Remember? Now, this article is titled, I'm trying to scroll up here. It's titled Famed Economist Who Predicted 2008 Recession. And of course, a car ad pops up right over. Good time in Daily Mail. What kind of car is it? Lexus? BMW? What? Why is this ad not moving? What is going on here? This is the immortal, immovable ad. It's not letting me see the... Anyway, so I'm just going to read the little piece I can see. Economist predicted 2008 recession. Warns a recession is coming. Let's just read the article. My word. Now a video ad. They have 3 ads loading up at the same time. What is going on? And the ad is over another ad. An economist, consultant who accurately called the 2008 recession has again claimed he is skeptical of the U.S. economy. This is a pro, folks. Says a course correction is on its way. This goes against what the top people at the Fed have been saying. You've been hearing them say, oh, the economy is good, even though we all know that's not. It's not. They've been saying the economy looks strong. It looks good. Well, a real economist who went to school for this and is famous for making great calls is saying, hey, there's problems coming. Here's a name, David Rosenberg. So you can look up his background for yourself. David Rosenberg, the founder of Rosenberg Research, made the declaration Friday, hours after April's job report fell short of expectations. The U.S. economy added 175,000 jobs last month, shy of economists' forecasts for 238,000. In notes to clients Friday, the former Merrill Lynch chief economist explained why he views the numbers as cause for concern. He said the data is inconsistent. Is inconsistent with numbers coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics quarterly census of employment and wages and business employment dynamics data sets. Remember, I was saying that those numbers don't make sense, but what I was using was the actual people that were saying they're getting laid off, and thousands of articles and videos, mostly on TikTok. That's when I get at night. I just scroll real quick and watch some TikToks at the end of the business day. But you can find thousands of videos on there. Yeah, I know why you're researching at night. It's just good information. It's just popping up anyway. But people saying that they're applying. These are people with master's degrees. They show you in the videos their degrees, master's degrees. Some of them have bachelor's degrees. That's still pretty good. And they're applying to hundreds of jobs, but they can't get them. Then we also read from some pros about what's called ghost job postings. They're posting the jobs. So when they count that when they're looking at the health of the system, but they're not actually hiring. They're just putting job postings out there, and they're taking people through a battery of interviews that you're not really supposed to make it through. You're not going to make it through that, but it keeps HR. It keeps a work for HR. That's number one. And then on top of that, it looks good like they're actually hiring, but they're not. So I was basing my thoughts on that. This person has access to these data sets and saying, hey, the numbers aren't making sense. It says both of which stated the economy actually lost jobs in the third quarter. Wow. So there you go. Given the disparity, Rosenberg said the data is likely overstated. Pardon me one moment. Overstated by historical portions. I don't know what that was. Something popped up and my browser said, hey, you want to block this? 99% of the time? No, 100% of the time? You want to block it? I don't know what's popping up here from this news website. Block it. It says the revisions. Don't take chances, folks. Don't take chances. The revisions will not be coming for another 6 months. And when they do get released, it will come as a shock to the Fed and to the markets as well, Rosenberg said, of the downward revisions he believes are still to come in the months ahead. The Fed now intends to stay on the sidelines as it closely watches lagging and contemporaneous indicators that are littered with high error terms, he added. And the longer it waits, the more it is going to have to do on the rates front. Uh-oh. Shades of 1991. Oh, no. 2001. Oh, my. And 2008. People better get ready. All over again. We've been I'm telling you, we make some good calls on this channel. I'm telling you, people may not want to hear the truth, but we bring you the truth here. And it allows, you know what it does? It allows people, if they want to prepare. To prepare where everyone else is not prepared. People here have the chance to be prepared if that's what they choose. They know what's coming. It's just facts. In addition to believing the jobs data is distorted, Rosenberg further claims stock prices and valuations that have risen in recent months are also disconnected from reality. What does that mean? Aired in another note to clients penned April 23rd. Wow, he released a lot. That warning claimed that the burgeoning bubble created by booming stocks of companies focused on AI could be about to burst, with the financier pointing to dips seen from AI proponents like NVIDIA days before as proof. Well, I'll say this I'll put this out there. AI, everything involved with it, will probably change forever as there are new mechanisms being built that are so more advanced than the GPUs that NVIDIA is pushing, that there's no way, if those things hit the market and take the market by storm, like for instance, you've seen me use Grok, G-R-O-Q. Let me clarify that. I don't use the Elon Musk G-R-O-K Grok. I don't use that. I've never used it. I don't know what that's like. But G-R-O-Q, Grok.com, Grok AI uses not a GPU. It uses an LPU. Just do a simple search on there and look at how fast it moves. It's mind blowing. And to think they're not even near their peak. So once they start making that available to all the other companies, how do you compete with that? How do you compete with that speed? LPUs are far superior to GPUs as far as what I can see right now. And that's not the only thing that certain companies are working on. There's another mechanism that's just as fast as an LPU from another company. GPUs are in trouble as far as, being the bulk of what runs AI right now, especially GPT models. So there's that. Just my humble opinion. If I got something wrong, I don't proclaim to be an AI technical expert, but I just know what I've read and I'm trying to convey it as best as I can. So, hey, the Economist is saying something is coming and it ain't good. Paraphrasing, of course. So I appreciate you all out there. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.